So welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today I'm ranking all 12 Friday the 13th movies. Now I think I need to make this clear. Yes, I am a Friday the 13th fan, but I'm a casual Friday the 13th. I'm a super casual fan of this franchise. Yes, I know facts about this franchise, yada yada yada, but I am a casual fan, so this list may not be the list that you like because you may be a hardcore Friday the 13th fan. Point is, this is my personal list. I'm a casual fan. Um, if you agree with my ranking, you enjoy the video, make sure you smash the like button. Let me know your full ranking in the comments below. If you don't want to do all 12, just give me your top 5 in the comments below. Let's get right into this franchise ranking of Friday the 13th. Coming at number 12 is Jason Goes to Hell at Bottom of the Barrel. I think we can all agree Jason Goes to Hell is a pretty bad movie. But I said it in my review, there was something there. The concept could have been handled better with a better writer. I said it. But they did it too late in the franchise and it just didn't work. And it feels like the most low quality budget one out of all of them. Like, it's just why? Friday Jason Goes to Hell, it really just doesn't make any sense. It adds things on, like I said. It's so late in the franchise, this is what you decide to do. Really, the only memorable thing about Jason Goes to Hell, for me at least, is when Freddy comes up and grabs Jason. Number 11, maybe a controversial one, I don't know. But number 11 is the original Friday the 13th. I know that's like super controversial, right? But hear me out. Like I said, I'm a casual fan. Now, like I said, number 11 is Friday the 13th, the original. Why, you may ask? Because it's not my cup of tea. We all have opinions. For me, the original Friday the 13th rips off a little too much from Halloween. The whole mystery thing, in my opinion, the whole mystery killer and all that could have been way better, in my opinion. And just some things really don't work for me in the original Friday the 13th. Some things do, some things don't. It's my opinion. I think the biggest thing is nostalgic. I never really had nostalgia with the original Friday the 13th. I saw it later on in my life because I remember as a kid, I saw the remake. That was my first Friday the 13th movie, was the remake. Then I saw The New Blood. Then I saw the final chapter. I slowly started getting into these movies. So I didn't see the original until later on in my life. So yeah, that is my opinion on that. Number 10, we're getting into the top 10 now, is Freddy vs. Jason. Now, hear me out again. I love Freddy vs. Jason. It's one of my favorite horror movies. I feel like, and it's one of my favorite incarnations of Freddy, because it's obviously Freddy vs. Jason, right? It's one of my favorite incarnations of Freddy. I feel like it's a good blend and mix of Freddy from Part 1 and Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street 3. That being said, why is it so low? This ranking is specifically because it's not a Jason movie. It's more of a Nightmare on Elm Street film. It's more of a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I feel like you could have took Jason out of this and had a really good had a really good Nightmare on Elm Street movie. You necessarily didn't need Jason in this movie, but regardless, it's an awesome movie. Love the whole fight scene. But I'm telling you right now, when I do my Nightmare on Elm Street ranking, because that's coming up very soon, because I already reviewed the remake like a few months ago, so got to get back on those. The point is, Freddy vs. Jason, when it comes to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, it's one of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movies. For the Friday the 13th side, it's really not my favorite Jason movie, because Jason isn't really there, and I don't like that portrayal of Jason, zombie-like, not my thing. But on the Nightmare on Elm Street side, like I said again, it's top 5, top 4, top 3 easily for me. So yeah. Number 9 is Friday the 13th Part 2. Now, Friday the 13th Part 2 is a little better than Part 1. But Jason in this really don't like the portrayal of Jason. He's, very clumsy, which doesn't, it doesn't frighten me. Like his whole get up, like the bag on his head, none of that has intimidated me. That's just, You know, my thoughts on Friday the 13th Part 2 is not a 10-minute. That's no nostalgic for me. So yeah. Number 8 is Jason Takes Manhattan. Now I almost put this one at the bottom of the barrel, but I didn't. You know, even though I'm a casual fan, this was a super hard list for me to make, even though I am a casual fan. Number 8 is Jason Takes Manhattan. Do I need any explanation? Jason Takes Manhattan, why this is at number 8 and not at bottom of the barrel, at least Jason Takes Manhattan has some more memorable moments and is somewhat watchable. Maybe towards the, you know, the end, but it's still watchable. But there's so many problems with Jason Takes Manhattan, more like Jason Takes a Boat. They couldn't commit to one story. Does Jason want to kill on a boat? Does he want to, you know, kill in Manhattan? And a lot of it doesn't even take place in New York. It takes place in Vancouver. Really, like, come on. You just really ran out of ideals when it comes to Jason Takes Manhattan. Like, Jason Takes Manhattan. Come on now. The next one is number 7 is Friday the 13th, The New Blood. Now, The New Blood got destroyed by the ratings board, but this was Kane Hodder's first performance as Jason, right? The New Blood, you know, I like the whole, like, telekinesis, you know, Carrie girl. I thought that was really interesting, like someone that could actually take Jason on. That was cool. But The New Blood, really not anything too memorable. But the things I do like from The New Blood, I like Jason's look. May not be one of my favorite looks, but I think it's a really awesome look for Jason. I love that. I love Kane Hodder as Jason. So, yeah. Number 6 may be a controversial one. This definitely is a controversial one, but number 6 is Jason X. Hear me out. A lot of people don't know this. Jason X, here's a fact about Jason X. Jason X was never supposed to be made. They was, you know, supposed to put out a Freddy vs. Jason. But, you know, they didn't want to lose their rights to, you know, New Line didn't want to lose the rights, so they just rushed out a film and called it Jason X, Jason Goes to Space. The thing with Jason X, it's so dumb, it's enjoyable. Jason X is one of those movies where it's just so stupid and dumb. It makes no sense. It's enjoyable to me. Like, it's still an enjoyable film. I could sit and watch it. I'd rather watch Jason X over the original. I know that's so controversial, but Jason X is just memorable, and it's just cheesy, and, you know, it's too out there for the franchise. But there's some awesome kills and getting Kane Hodder. You really can't go wrong with Jason X, in my opinion. You know, it's something that's really different from the franchise, especially if you're watching these in a marathon. It's something, you know, that's really different from the franchise. I'm not saying Jason X is a good film, has its flaws, it's almost a bad movie, but it's so terrible, it's so bad, it's enjoyable. Like, it's one of those movies, you know what I mean? Like, it's so bad that it's enjoyable. That's why it's at number 6. You know, I used to rant on this movie so bad, but every time I watch it, it's a film that I can't help it grows on me. Like, it really does grow on me. Number 5 is Friday the 13th Part 3. May surprise a lot of people, but I think Part 3, it, you know, is a pretty iconic, good slasher movie. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Part 3, but I put Part 3 at number 5 because it is a enjoyable slasher. You know, it really, you know, it really does its own thing. It doesn't copy Part 1 and Part 2. It's way better than Part 1 and 2. But Part 3, not perfect either, in my opinion. Now we're at top 4. Now this is where we get really controversial. Me looking at this list, I say 3 and 2 not as controversial, but I see what my number 1 is and what my number 4 is, maybe super controversial. You probably know what my number 4 already is, because I didn't speak about Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. Number 4 is Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. I love this movie. I'll be honest, this top 4, I love all these movies. Top 4, love all these movies. Love all these movies. I will always love these movies. I will always find entertainment out of these. Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. I love this movie. I'm one of those people that love this movie. I love the hockey maskings, the blue on it. Love that. You know, yes, it kind of has a Scooby-Doo type of ending to it, but it works. Like, there's things in this movie that works, and the whole, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like a lot of people would have enjoyed the copycat killer angle if the real Jason appeared at the end of the movie. I think a lot of people would have enjoyed it more if it had that twist. That's my opinion. I said it in my review. But Friday the 13th, A New Beginning is my number 4 because I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorites. You know, it's different again, watching these back to back as a franchise. You put this one in, it's really different. And there's some really memorable moments, and there's some moments that even make you laugh and chuckle a bit. And yeah, that's my opinion. Number 2 is Jason Lives. I even have a Jason Lives poster right there. Love Jason Lives. It's a good blend of meta and it's a good mix of meta, comedy, and horror. It's a really good mix. Awesome soundtrack by Alice Cooper. Love Jason Lives. It's one of my favorite Friday the 13th movies, obviously, because it is number 3. Love Jason Lives. Really awesome movie. I really don't hear a lot of people talking bad about Jason Lives, and that's a good thing, because Jason Lives is an awesome movie. Number 2 is Friday the 13th, can't talk. Number 2 is Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. I love The Final Chapter. You know, it brought in a family angle, which, no other one did. Brought a family angle in there. Really changed up the franchise. Jason, one of my favorite Jasons, is in this as well. Just all around an awesome Friday the 13th movie. I feel like The Final Chapter is where this franchise found its footing. It found its footing. Like, it found it where it wanted to go in tone, where it wanted to go with Jason. It found where it wanted to go. And The Final Chapter is a perfect slasher. It's a perfect slasher. It's a iconic slasher. And yeah, but my number 1, this is going to get controversial, like super controversial, but it's my opinion, my list. Number 1 is Friday the 13th, 2009's remake, reboot, reimagine, whatever you feel like calling it. That's right. My favorite is the remake. Like I said, I am a casual Friday the 13th fan. So is this a definitive list? For my top 4, sure. Top 4 definitive. It will always be like that. Things may get switched around. But my number 1 will always be the remake. The remake is what I want in a Friday the 13th movie. If you ask me what I want in a Friday the 13th movie, I'm going to show you the remake. I want it dark. I want it scary. I want it realistic. I want it grounded. I want something new, different. Play around with the rules. That's what I want. People complain about Jason kidnaps a girl. So, Jason, was in New York. You know what I mean? Like, this franchise really never had rules. It always broke the rules. And I've always been that person to defend that, man, because I don't have a lot of nostalgia for this franchise. I don't see a problem with Jason kidnapping a girl. I think the remake is the best shot besides Freddy vs. Jason, but that's more of a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I think this one is the best shot, the best cinematography, one of the best Jasons. So controversial. Decker Mears does a good job, just as good as Kate Hodder in my opinion. Love the look of Jason. It reminds me of Part 3 in The Final Chapter. This one really does call back to Part 3 in The Final Chapter. And, a lot of people don't even know this, but it's never, the director and writers really never fully, bluntly said this is a remake. They've always kind of left that open to that it can be canon. They kind of wrote this as that it could fit in the timeline. Where could it fit in the timeline at? Possibly after Part 3 and just retcon everything after that. That's, what I think. I love that this one has a story in it that's so controversial, but this one has a good story that draws you in. It draws you in, I think. Like, this guy from Supernatural, which was a good choice to cast him because he does a really good job in the role, and he was, very big around the time because of Supernatural and everything like that. But, he's trying to find, his, sister. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. Putting a story element in there draws you in. Jason having these tunnels, I love that concept. Like, that's so, to me, that's awesome. Like, that makes him still, like, a mysterious type of character, but making him grounded. Like, there could be a man living in the woods, like Jason, right now, like that. I feel like that's the thing about this remake, is how realistic that it gets. Like, how realistic and how good the kills are, and how realistic Jason is. Like, again, he runs in this. Like, I'm not joking when I say this. If I had a choice of Kane Hodder or Deckard Mears, which one would I be the most, intimidated by? I go with Deckard Mears, because he's going to run after you and use you as bait, everything. He's really, really going to do damage on you. And I love that they had, like, the baghead Jason, but it was way more intimidating, way more scarier. Love the whole intro. Love the intro, one of the best intros out of the franchise. I remember seeing this as a kid. That whole intro, best part of the movie, freaked me out as a kid, and I didn't know what was going to happen, because I thought that was going to be the main people, but they wasn't. I feel like the remake created something right there that other horror movies didn't, continue with. Like, I love, what the Friday the 13th remake did. I feel like it's a perfect horror remake. It's a perfect Friday the 13th movie. It's what I want out of a Friday the 13th movie. It's just everything you want. Like, the intro, one of the best intros, the best cinematography, one of the best scores out of the whole franchise, besides the original score. Love the score. It really does its own score. It's perfect. It's what I want out of a Friday. It's intimidating, it's scary, it's realistic, it's grounded. It's what I want from a Friday the 13th movie, and I wish we've gotten a sequel to this. And hopefully there's still some hope of that we could get a sequel to this, because I really want a sequel to this. I'd rather have a sequel to this than another remake. That's what I want. This remake is one of my favorite Friday the 13th movies. I love this remake. If you ask me what is my favorite Friday the 13th movie, I'm going to say the remake. Usually I'm going to say the remake. If I don't say the remake, I may say the final chapter, but usually the remake is what I watch, because I love the remake. It's one of my most watched, actually, which I never talked about. Like, my most watched Friday the 13th movies are the final chapter or the remake. I love the remake. I could talk all day about this movie. I may even do a revisiting of it, just because how much I love it, because it's the Halloween season, which I may do that, because why not? I love talking about this movie. I love defending it, and I'm so glad that this movie is starting to get a following. It's starting to get appreciation. I love that. I really love it. Love the remake. It's number one for me. So yeah, let me know in the comments below your 12 let me know your 12 rankings of all these in the comments below. Let me know your ranking in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, play subscribe, hit notification bell. I'm very curious to know what is your guys' top 4, because I think this is the most interesting franchise to debate about, because everybody's top 4 is so drastically different. Everybody's number 1 is drastically different. Can't talk. Usually, when it comes to the Halloween franchise, it's, usually people bring up Halloween 4 or Halloween 6 or the original or Halloween 2 or Halloween 2018 now. But with the Friday the 13th franchise, it's such a debater, because everybody has everybody's top 4 is just like that all the time. But for me, my top 4 is definitive. I love the remake, and that is my favorite out of the franchise. So yeah, let me know your ranking in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.